Hi, and welcome to my channel, Rolling into Retirement. I'm Mike. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I appreciate you being here. So, I've taken a bit of time off to start a new job, visit family, move houses, fight with the video editor, and do my other life tasks. But I've still been thinking a lot about the next video I wanted to make. It's so weird how my mind works sometimes. Today, I wanted to do a fairly short video talking about a few of the reasons why I started this channel and why I've decided to keep talking about RPGs that I bought 35 plus years ago. Ready to hit the Wayback button? Alright, let's do this. Since I'm normally the guy always asking the questions, let's start the video by asking myself a few why questions. It's only fair that I get the same treatment I dish out, right? So, why do I think older games are important? Why do I focus on the character building aspects of those games? And why don't I do something else with broader appeal? Okay, way to ask heavy questions, Mike. Nice. All right, there's a lot to dig into here, but let me try to lay out some general thoughts on each of these items and provide some details about what goes through my brain when I'm selecting the topics and writing the scripts. Hopefully this will all make sense in the end. I know I have some serious pretzel logic at times, so we'll just hope for the best here. All right, first things first. Why do I think older games are important to look at? I mean, most of these games are older than many of the people I work with and both of my kids. What value can there be in studying something that's that long in the tooth? For me, anyway, it's about understanding how the RPGs that we play today arrived at some of the design choices they use. If I can understand how some of the design choices were made back then in the day, it's my hope that I can then begin to understand and possibly make better the game systems I play today. I am a pretty big fan of using the game mechanics and other stuff that I like or think that fit in my game and ignoring all the stuff that doesn't work for my playstyle or game or type of game I want to run. I'm sure there are people out there that want to play the game as intended by the designers. That's absolutely a fair way to play any RPG and should never be discouraged. But that just isn't me. I'm a system tinkerer, if you want to talk about it that way. I like using parts of systems and discarding the parts that I don't like to use. While I like D&D 5e, I can definitely tell you there are things I really didn't like in that system that I just never used. For example, I really hate the feats that were part of character advancement for multiple reasons. Again, some people may feel they make the game better. They just don't do that for me. But I could also say the same about the original D&D versions that I played in my youth. I mean, right off the bat, I can tell you that I always hated the dreaded THAC0 model. It confused the crap out of me all the time. If you're interested to learn more about what THAC0 was all about, take a look at the link I'll provide below. You can dive into the world of Reddit too, but be warned that it can be a true rabbit hole of ideas and opinions on that topic. There are so many different ideas that RPGs developed in the 1980s and 1990s that were iterated on, improved, tweaked, changed, or completely discarded. Knowing about these different ideas, both the ones that worked well and the ones that just didn't, make it easier for me to quickly understand whether a game is something I want to run or run away from quickly. Knowing what I liked and didn't like about the game systems I ran in the past helps give me perspective on the design choices of the games I want to run and appreciate what can be done with each system. Again, I am in no way saying that system tinkering is the only way to run a system or a game, but it's the way I like to use the systems that I play. You do you. Okay, so next, why do I focus on character building aspects of these games? A lot of my videos to date have been me doing character builds in the various systems that I've picked up over the years. Why do I even do that or find that interesting? For me, that's a fairly straightforward question to answer. As a serial collector of RPGs, I've developed characters in a lot of systems over the years. I just like building characters. It helps me understand how the RPG I'm thinking about playing is built, and it helps me understand if the characters I'm building are interesting in some way. Can I make memorable characters, or do all the characters I create simply blend into a form of generic sameness? Digging into the character creation aspects of the game system really allows me to understand two things. One, whether the system is easy to understand, and two, does it make interesting characters? If I can follow character creation fairly easily while also making an interesting and fun to play character, that is a win from my perspective. I don't want to make a generic fantasy hero or generic sci-fi character. I want to make a unique, often goofy, and sometimes downright broken character. I want to find some reason for the characters I make to struggle to succeed. I want to find that connection point between myself and the characters I create. That's where I find the fun in both playing a game and running it. And another reason I like to make characters is that it helps me understand the game system as a whole when I try to run something new. Understanding that character creation system can help me guide new players through the system, hopefully helping them make their own characters that they find the fun in as well. I'm not saying you need to make unique characters, that's just my thing. Okay, so why don't I do something else with a broader appeal? Great question, Mike. Simple answer, I'm not interested in doing that. The longer answer is that there are so many other bigger and better channels that do game reviews, RPG theory, etc. Hell, I watched most of them and I hope you do too. I've done a video where I talk about my RPG inspirations and I'll provide a link to that as well. If I think about it, this channel is more of a passion project for me in terms of the content that I'm creating. I want to make content that I hope my sons and their friends will look at someday. I want the content that I create to be something that help both the players and GMs understand the games that they are playing better, and hopefully allows them to take some inspiration when they run their own games. As you can probably tell, I'm not a big fan of dragging things out. I've tried to be as to the point as possible, at least for me. I feel like I've covered all the questions that I wanted to answer about this, and I hope that the questions and answers I've provided will prove useful to you. And that's about all I wanted to say. Thanks for taking the time to visit, and I hope you have a great day and a great week ahead. Take care.